Hi, Danika Watson, nurse practitioner, coming to you today to discuss the topic that I promised I would get to, my health journey and thyroid issues. So I will try to keep this as short as possible, but there is a lot of back detail that I want to add to paint you a very good picture. So the question arose and what kind of brought this up was, have you always been health conscious? And if not, when did it start? Well, I had a poor diet in college. I thought I was healthy, but I was doing all the things wrong. And then when I got married, we worked out all the time and we ate pretty good. And then, we had kids, and convenience weighs in for sure. Not only that, but in like a year time span, we moved, we started building our dream home. I was commuting an extra hour to work both ways, and then of course going back to school. All of that to say my stress level was super high with everything we had going on. During that time, I also thought that I needed to maintain, my workout schedule and my eating habits. And my eating habits kind of waxed and waned depending on how exhausted I was, how I felt. But I made sure to get up and push myself 30 minutes every single day and do a workout. Hindsight, that was probably not the smartest thing to do, but it's where I was. When I finished my practitioner degree, I kind of took a deep breath and I threw in the towel on a bunch of things, and I was like, I'm done. I just want to I don't want to eat right. I don't want to work out. I just want to live. And that's what I did for about 2 months. I went to my doctor, and because when I was pregnant with London, my first pregnancy, they thought my thyroid was a little swollen. And so during that time, that was in 2014, towards the end of my pregnancy, we drew some labs and my thyroid levels were fine. I felt fine. Everything was great. So we kind of dismissed it, brushed it off, and I never thought anything else about it. Okay, so fast forward to 2017 when, I went to the doctor for my, my yearly checkup, and we did some labs, and a few days later she calls and she's like, hey, your thyroid panel is off, so I have some questions for you. Are you more tired than usual? And as bad as the answer was yes, I lied, and I was like, well, no. Okay, Danika, have you been, working out and eating right and not able to lose weight or gaining weight? And all of those were true, but again, I answered, no, I'm fine. Everything is fine. And then she's like, well, what about your hair loss? Have you had any recent or drastic hair loss? And I'm like, no, I shed all the time. Nothing's changed. And she's like, okay, well, you're showing, symptoms of subclinical hypothyroidism. And that is where your symptoms don't match your labs. And that is because I answered the questions wrong, right? I fibbed on my answers because I just went through school and I kind of knew what to say. I didn't want to be on medicine, and I said all those things because I did not want to be on medicine, and I knew once I started medicine, I was doomed. So instead of coming home and going to work on myself, I came home and I got mad, and I sat around and moped about it, and still ate bad, and still didn't take care of myself for another few weeks or a month or so. And then I reached out to a colleague here in our town who has been like the key or the igniter on a lot of our healing journeys here in this community specifically. But I reached out to her and I was like, look, I gotta figure something out. And she said, start with your liver. And I was like, okay, that sounds so crazy, but hey, I trust you 100%. And I did. And I started digging. She gave me some names of people, and I started doing research, and I came across the RCP program, or the root cause protocol. And I dove headfirst into it and started the protocol, what all it said. And I hope to give you all a little overview, kind of a summary of what that is in a few short weeks. So stay tuned on that. But I started the protocol. Looking back, like, yes, I was gaining weight, or I wasn't losing weight, and I could tell that I was getting fluffy, but looking back, like, the inflammation that I had from everything being out of whack was insane. What I learned through the RCP was that my liver was so bogged down and so saturated with metals and minerals that I could not digest, that it was backing up things like downstream from that, right? So it wouldn't let the right minerals in to get to my thyroid to do what it needed to do. So I suffered from, liver toxicity, so to speak, and adrenal fatigue. And then ultimately I was having hypothyroid issues. So I did, I cleansed my liver. I started taking the supplements that I was, I was told to take. I stopped all the things I was told to stop. And I was diligent about it, super diligent. And I learned how to listen to my body. And this all happened probably over a 8-month time span from when I really started to when I felt my absolute best. And I'm talking like energy like I'd never seen before. It felt like someone had removed the mask from in front of me, and I was thinking clearly. I had lost a lot of just inflammation, not even weight. The scale never changed, but inflammation. I felt better. I could go and do and be, and it was just wonderful. Okay, well, let me continue on this little journey here. So then I got pregnant, and this last pregnancy, water made me sick. I mean, for 6 months straight, it was difficult to even drink water. So my magnesium went out the window. Like, I wasn't taking as much as I should have. My adrenal cocktail that I used to take, that I take, I wasn't taking like I should have. For sure wasn't getting cod liver oil down. It was all I could do to get enough nutrients to function through the day because I was that sick. And then of course that got better, but I stuck with the bad habits that I had picked up for those first 6 months of my pregnancy. When I had Aspen, I started back on my healing protocol, my healing journey, and kick-started things back off. Throughout this, I learned a lot about myself, and I learned that when I go, days of or weeks with not eating wrong or having too many treats, I have certain symptoms. Like for me, it's left shoulder pain. Like I get a knot under my left shoulder and it doesn't go away. Doesn't matter if I massage it. It doesn't matter what I do. It doesn't go away. And then I've never looked into Chinese medicine or reflexology, but I have a pressure point in my foot. It's like your thyroid pressure point. And when I need a liver cleanse, when I am way bogged down, I will get up in the mornings and I have like a tingling sensation in that exact pressure area. When those things happen, it's like immediate. I know I need a cleanse. I know I need to up my vegetables. And I need to assess what I'm doing from a supplementation standpoint. So this journey is not over by any means. It's not finished. It is a day in and day out. I can typically live an 80-20 lifestyle and feel really good and survive and be like where I feel like I'm at my max. But when I get to like that 60-40, that's when I start having those symptoms, that tingling and that knot in my shoulder, and then I've got to reel it back in. Part of that is a curse, I guess, because when I know how to push the limits, and I like treats, and I like a margarita every now and then, and I enjoy my carbs, and so I know kind of my balance, and I push the limits where sometimes I shouldn't. I will say there's also, so from that point, when I learned, wow, what I'm putting in my body and how I'm taking care of my body really makes a difference, I started assessing the bigger picture. What am I doing for my kids? What am I doing in our household? What on a day-to-day basis, like where can I clean up at? And so, we've changed how we clean our house. We changed how we cook with certain things. We changed just a lot of our air filters. We changed our water purifying system. We've really upgraded and changed a lot. And again, this didn't happen overnight. Like it has taken years, and I'm still in the process of doing things. I will say that, it's an everyday learning thing. It's an everyday task to be this way. And here recently I have felt a little like I've taken some steps back, but I've been stressed and my sleep has not been really good. Actually, if I'm being completely honest, since I've had Aspen, my sleep hasn't been very well. She didn't sleep very well for the first, several months of her life. And then we got better, but not great. And now we're great, but stress is causing me, or, activities is causing me not to have the amount of sleep that I need. And that's when, or that's usually my biggest trigger, would be like a vacation where I go crazy eating and I don't pay attention to things, or I don't take my supplements as I'm supposed to, or my sleep is off. And when my sleep is off, I get up and I need caffeine, right? And then midway through the day, I have a crash and I need more caffeine. And so I'm pulling my adrenals down. They're suffering. And to combat that, I'm eating carbs. And so it's a big spiral downhill. And until I like really sit down, lay down, get a good sleep and kind of refresh, I will continue to spiral down. And then I know it, but life happens and I get it. So I say all that to say that a lot of times it's not just your diet and it's not just your cleaning supplies or all that, but it's your stress and it's your sleep cycle. You got to make sure that those are in check too. Okay. There's a lot of information in a really short amount of time. I hope that helps. I hope that maybe raises some red flags or even raises some questions for any of you who may be struggling, maybe not just with thyroid, but maybe with any kind of autoimmune disease or inflammation, just like head to toe inflammation, joint pain, etc. And again, I hope to share more summarization on Dr. Morley's RCP program within a few weeks. If you're always welcome to reach out to me and I can explain anything, from a personal standpoint. But that is kind of what triggered me and what really got me to start thinking. And now I think on, all different kinds of levels about how different things affect us. And so it just really jump-started my mindset and my health consciousness and kind of set me on the right track to a better lifestyle. So to my colleague, you know who you are. I really appreciate you.